Yo, what's up, family? This your boy back again, Mo Legend. So, currently there is a trending topic in the Gambia talking about the gay right in Gambia. And I just came across this topic and I see how this is going crazy right now in Gambia. People, they don't like it right there. They're discussing a lot about it. And the government actually wanna legalize that. So this is my personal opinion. I just want to share my personal opinion right here and tell you exactly what I think about this. If you're a gay, do not feel really offended by this. I'm not here to offend you. I'm not here to, to tell you whatever. I'm not here. I just don't want to offend anybody. But by the same time, I got to tell you what I feel and how I feel about this because I have the right to express myself, okay? First of all, Gambia is a traditional Muslim and Christian country. We don't have to forget about the spirituality that Africa has. These are things that we don't need. Same-sex marriage in Africa, we don't need these things. Because this is going to destroy the future generations. It is going to destroy our spirituality, our religions, everything. So we have to think about things before we move forward. This is something we should not allow to happen in Africa. And by this, I want to tell you again, I'm not offending nobody. This is not an offense to you or anything else. If you're a gay, I respect you. You got to respect me. But we just have to talk about things. We just got to talk about things. We don't need these things in Africa. In Africa, I don't understand sometimes some people. Some of these people in the government, I don't understand how these people are. We should not let us be always influenced by other cultures. We have to respect our own cultures and our values. So that's why I'm here today, just to share my opinion with you. Because I just came across this video right here on the Gambia Insider. I will be sharing the video with you shortly, and you're going to see exactly what they're talking about and what is happening right now. But again, to all my brothers and sisters in Gambia, please fight for our continent. Y'all need to always do what you gotta do to protect Africa. Because there is things we don't need these things in Africa at all. We don't need these things. Africa is a spiritual continent. We don't have to forget about this. And we don't have to be in things, how can we identify ourselves in those stuffs? I don't really understand it. So, I feel like that I was in need to talk about this. And I have to express myself because I wanted to express myself. So I'm here to tell you exactly, if you feel that you're offended by this, I'm sorry. But I just got to tell what I got to tell. We don't need these things. We don't need things that will destroy our culture, our values, our future, everything. Africa already has a problem. We have to solve those problems, but we don't need new problems in Africa. So to all my Gambians brothers and sisters and all my African brothers and sisters, let's fight to preserve the right of our continent. And we have to do everything to keep Africa great.
Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are talking about a very pressing issue in the country right now, a matter that is being discussed everywhere by concerned citizens in the streets and on social media. Especially on Twitter, people are having heated debates on this matter of LGBT rights. And since we are the Gambian Insider, we feel like there's a need for us to shed light on the matter here on our channel. Since the newly established National Human Rights Commission has recommended to the President and his government to take measures to protect the rights of lesbians, gays, bisexuals and transgenders in the Gambia, basically telling them to legalize homosexuality in the Gambia. And the people that are behind this are basically the EU and other disciples of Shaitan. These are highly powerful and wealthy people trying to challenge Allah, telling Allah that, you know what, we know hell and heaven exist and we know you are going to burn us in the hellfire, but we don't care. We'll take as much people as possible with us to the hellfire. This was Shaitan's promise to Allah, and he is doing everything possible to make sure he takes as much people as possible with him to Jahannam. And in this case, he is using wealth to do so. there's a lot of money that is being pumped in the National Human Rights Commission by these disciples of Shaitan. That's why they are coming out here telling us about gay rights. They don't believe in these things themselves. The only reason why they are speaking in favor of it is because of the money involved. I'm sure if any one of their kids decides to be gay, they are most definitely going to abandon the person. Why? Because we don't know this. This is not part of our culture. Matter of fact, it is not part of any culture or any religion. And if President Barrow is not careful and follows his desire for wealth, they will convince him to approve this. And the same thing applies to the parliamentarians. If they are not careful, if they follow their desire for wealth, they'll fall in the trap of Shaitan. For EU and anyone that's behind this cause, before funding satanic causes like this and claiming to help people, and this commission also coming out here claiming human rights, honestly, I feel like these people don't know what human right really means for Gambians, or maybe they have the wrong definition. You know, it is our human right to be financially independent, that is to have a reliable source of income. But in Gambia here, how many youths do you know, how many people do you know that are unemployed? It is our human right to get proper medication and a proper healthcare service. But in Gambia here, how many people do you know that lost their life due to our poor healthcare service? How many women lost their babies? How many times have you heard of that? Some women in the rural areas deliver on donkey carts on their way to the hospital because hospitals are kilometers away from them and there's no proper transportation system. And also, how many people lost their lives because they cannot afford overseas treatment? It is also our human right to have a good education. It is our human right to live under proper housing. It is our human right to have a reliable transportation system. It is also our human right for our lives and our properties to be protected. Look at the recent fire outbreak that happened in Basse. If the Senegalese firefighters didn't come, the matter would have been worse than this because the fire service department in Basse don't have enough cars. Imagine a government that didn't have all these things figured out. You are not able to provide enough firefighting cars to your firefighting departments in the rural areas. Your youths are unemployed. Your healthcare service sucks. Your education system is not good. You don't have a reliable transportation system. On top of all this, you, the National Human Rights Commission, have the audacity and the guts to come out here and propose for gay rights? Wow. I mean, where's the logic here, man? So you can see clearly that this is a shaitanic cause, and Shaitan always has an ultimate goal. He wants to destroy us. He wants to destroy our society. His ultimate goal is to cause fitna for mankind. Imagine if this thing is approved 10 years down the line. And you know Shaitan always plans long term. He'll use this generation to mislead the upcoming one. Okay, let's just say 10-20 years later, this gay right is being enforced. If a business owner with strong religious values decides not to employ a gay person, he will be sued to court for discrimination or something like that. The same thing applies to a landlord that decides not to rent out his property to gay people. And in the end, it is gonna cause fitna and violence in our community. You know families that are going to court and fighting other families in trying to protect the rights of their sons or daughters. You know definitely these families are not gonna come together and pray in the same masjids or the same churches. This is exactly what Shaitan wants, to divide us as a society because he knows that majority of people will never accept this. This is his ultimate goal. So therefore, it is the responsibility of every Gambian, Muslim or Christian, to take a stand against the legalization of homosexuality in the country. Islam does not support this, neither does Christianity. So let's all stand against it. I'd like to share two hadiths that fits to describe the situation that we are in right now. The first one is a hadith from the 40 hadiths of Nawawi. It is hadith number 34. The hadith says, "Whosoever of you sees an evil, let him change it with his hand. And if he is not able to do so, then let him change it with his tongue. And if he is not able to do so, then with his heart. And that is the weakest of faith." What the hadith mean by change it with one's hand is, for example, President Barrow and all the members of the parliament, you know they are in position, they can actually stop this thing from happening by using their power and by using their position. In this sense, this means changing it with one's hand. And what the hadith mean by changing it with one's tongue is what Sheikh Kebo Cham and all the other imams are doing, what we are doing right now. And all of you in the streets, on Twitter, Facebook and WhatsApp denouncing the act, sharing useful links, tweeting and retweeting to make other people aware about the dangers of this act. What we are doing is changing with our tongue. And finally, what the hadith mean by changing with one's heart is to dislike the act in your heart. If for some reason you cannot change it with your hand or your action, and you cannot change it with your tongue also, the least you can do is to hate the act. The second hadith I'd like to share is a hadith from Sunan Ibn Majah in the book of Sunnah, hadith number 203. The hadith says, "Whoever introduces a good practice that is followed, he will receive its reward and a reward equivalent to those who follow it. And whoever introduces a bad practice that is followed, he will receive its sin and a burden of sins equivalent to that of those who follow it. In this sense, what this hadith means is that all of us that are trying to make sure that this act is not legalized, share in hadith and verses of the Quran. If, let's say, because of our efforts, someone decides to quit this sinful act, then in that case, all of us will get a reward that lives on, a reward that will be continuous, because, no one knows how long this video is going to be here for. So even 10 years later, someone watched this video and changed his mind about the act, we will still get a reward. And you that share this video for the sake of Allah and for the sake of enlightening other people, you'll also get your reward. So this is like an investment. This is a reward that will live on forever. And on the other hand, all of you that have supported the legalization of homosexuality and all of you that voted for it to be legalized, if it is legalized, the more people in the Gambia that come out to practice it, you that promoted it will have a sin equivalent to all those who practice it until the day of Qiyamah. Simply because you facilitated it for them. You promoted for them to have their rights to practice homosexuality openly. This is also an investment, but a very bad one. Imagine carrying a sin that you did not commit. But simply because you promoted it, you will carry the sins of millions of gay people to come in the future. You will receive the sin even after you are dead. So you see, this is something that you should be extremely careful of. You should be afraid of this. This should make you scared. And if you know anyone of your Muslim brothers or sisters who's promoting it either one way or another, please share this hadith with them. Before we go, since this is a matter of deen, if we have made any mistakes or translated any hadith out of context, please don't hesitate to correct us in the comments below, and we will immediately correct the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel if you are new here. See you on our next video.